What's up, YouTube? Today's Geeky Acrylics video, I'm going to do a comparison video of two Chloe Price Life is Strange Funko Pops that I did. So this is basically me going back and recreating, or sort of recreating, an old pop using the skills that I know now that I've learned over these past few years. So just going to examine one of the very first Funkos I ever made and what I've learned in the past couple of years. So getting started here, if you're not familiar with the game, this is Chloe Price from Life is Strange. Chloe's actually the reason why I got into creating custom Funkos. I really love the game, and I thought it was kind of bogus that like there's Funkos for like so many different things. There's, you know, a Funko for the Sour Patch Kids and the Kool-Aid Man and just a bunch of really ridiculous stuff. But out of the gaming Funkos, Chloe didn't have one, so I want to make my own. And that's what really set me out on this journey of creating Funkos by sculpting polymer clay over existing pops. And you know, it's not very good. It's not very good. And so let me tell you, she actually looked better last year. So I built like the little background and everything for her because her feet were so small and her beanie was so heavy with the clay and everything that she couldn't stand on her own. So I really actually love the brick background. The problem here is Chloe took a really bad fall. And, you know, it says a lot that polymer clay, you know, it is clay. So it is more fragile than your standard Funko. But Chloe survived a fall from about like 4 or 5 shelves high. It was really high. She was up on the top shelf. I fumbled her, and she hit the ground pretty hard. So the background broke off here. Again, you know, not terrible. She didn't shatter or anything like that. She did land on carpet, so I think that softened it. If she had landed on like a hardwood floor or something, the base would probably be much more damaged from falling from that high up. But yeah, I love this. This is probably what I'm most proud of from Chloe, which is awkward, but I did a really good job, I think. I don't give myself too many compliments, but I really love the brick wall, and I'm gonna glue it back together. I haven't done so yet, mostly because I knew I was gonna make this video. It just took me a little while, but I did end up making a second Chloe, and I did want to revisit this one with you guys. So starting off, I will say I learned a lot by doing the base. So this is a super simple base that was literally made by using the ring that goes around like a mason jar. Let me see. I might have it here to show you guys. Yeah. So creating just using that, I set it down into the clay. There's actually a video I have on how to do that. And what I decided is, unless I'm putting details around that and I need a lot of space, that this base is too big. This was too big for Chloe. I could have still kept this and put it on like a smaller base. It didn't have to be all this. And it's really basic. It's literally just clay that I baked, sanded, and then just painted gray. So super simplistic. That's all I knew how to do at the time. Knowing what I know now, I would make the base smaller. Sometimes if I need a big base, I'll use the inside part. So I will actually cut using the inside, which is a little bit smaller than the outside of the ring. But you can also use other things. Right now, my favorite shape to use to size it is I took a pop off of a Star Wars Funko. I used the pop And I really haven't found a use for the base yet, other than I lay it down in the clay and I use it as a pattern and I cut the base out using that. So that's my favorite size for the bases right now. I think it's a great size, even if you're trying to do detail. So this is an original Funko that I did like a month or two ago. And I really love the detail I was able to capture here. Let me see if I can fix the lighting. But you can see that there's texture in the base. It looks a little more natural. I don't know how well you can see, but there's texture in there. It's, you know, not just painted one solid color. So yeah, it looks more like old weathered like concrete. And this one's a little bit different, but basically the same thing. I did a little more texturing on this to get the sides a little rougher, to make it look like really rough stone. And I think it came out really well. I'm going to do a video showing the texture methods for this as well. But I think these are perfect sizes. And you can see that it just does not have to be that big. And these bases look so much nicer. I also learned another trick. Her base isn't completely flat. Not just because it was really large, but because I didn't let the base cool right. Sometimes if your pan is not completely flat when you bake it in the oven, it may not cool completely flat. So I've gotten to where I take my bases out of the oven and make sure that they're pressed flat on a surface to cool. And that makes sure you get a nice sturdy flat base. So I learned a lot just by making a lot of bases. I usually only do them if I need specific details, or if, you know, obviously if a pop, like this gas mask, all this is clay. So it was going to be too heavy, even for his little soldier feet. So I knew he needed a base. The other things I learned were, as far as putting clay on the face, I used a Funko that had glasses. So there was like a little hole, a tiny hole in between her eyes where the character's glasses popped off. Obviously, Chloe doesn't wear glasses. I had to dispose of them while using for another project. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll patch it with clay. I'll just, you know, try to cover her face with a thin layer of clay because I want to make sure it was smooth. I thought I could get it smooth, but I didn't. It ended up being a really rough job. You can see the little dents and imperfections. Even trying to sand this, I really just couldn't get it smooth. Knowing what I know now, I would simply patch the hole, smooth that the best I could. I would do a little priming sanding to try to get it as flush with the Funko face as I could. And then I would just leave it alone. That would have looked better than having this kind of awkwardly lumpy face. Again, I was just making this for myself. It was one of the first Funkos I ever did, and I only had a little bit of experience. I was still pretty new to polymer clay. So this clay was done in I think I started her in late 2017. Got frustrated with the head and put her on pause until early 2018. So I took a couple months off, I think, and I came back. I finished her early 2018. And, you know, I'm proud of the hair. This was all sculpted by me. Most of her hair is like right here. I sculpted over top to match what I need to make on the sides. And then the beanie, I did a video on this, and this is still a method that you can use if you want to give your beanie a little bulk. You use aluminum foil, you ball it up and you mash it down on her head, and then you clay over that. That way your whole beanie isn't just filled with clay, because that's not really sustainable. So I have a video on that. That's still totally doable, and that gives you like a more natural bulked out beanie. I did decide to simplify this Chloe's beanie. There's no bulking with aluminum foil. This is just on her head. So I used some of the existing hair from the Funko, and I just laid clay on top of that, smoothed it out. And I don't know, it's two totally different looks, so it depends on what you're going for. I think this is a much simpler, cleaner look that matches the Funko style better. But yeah, it's something I'm personally doing. I'm doing other characters with beanies right now, and this is the method I'm going with. But I don't necessarily think this is the wrong way to do it. It was just a harder, I guess, more realistic look, maybe. Pretty okay with our outfits and everything. I don't have any complaints there. For only my second time sculpting hair, I think it actually turned out okay. I did end up simplifying this Chloe's hair a little bit more. I didn't make quite as much hair. She had existing hair back there, and I just sculpted a little extra details to give it that layered look that Chloe's hair has in the back. Oh no, she came off their stand. And I didn't make a base for her because the Funko I used did have a hole in its foot, so I could add a stand back on. These stands are pretty iffy though. She doesn't always want to stand well. There we go. So yeah, there's different things you can do to make it look cleaner over time. You just get better with your sculpting. It could also be a factor of the tools that I use. I did upgrade to a much better set of tools. I was using a really basic pack that I got at Michael's for like, I think less than $8, but I ended up getting a larger pack of tools, and I can go over that in another video as well. But basically just getting better, getting more confident and comfortable using polymer clay, and just trial and error of what works best. You can see I got really messy. Well, maybe you can't, but oh no, I forgot I didn't glue her head on. Oh, that's terrifying. Okay, so you can see here. Oh, you can see how bad her face looks from this angle. But you can see the super glue is like all messy. I would never make my base look like that and then sell it for any custom Funko I did. At the time, the super glue was like out of control, and I just got it on there really messy. And I was so worried about making sure she stayed on. You gotta hold it for like, I don't know, 15 to 30 seconds to make it like adhere properly to the base. I'm just holding it, and I'm not paying attention to the fact that the super glue is just drying on there and it looks messy. This is nothing like the quality of Funkos that I would sell. This was just the practice pieces that I was doing when I was learning how, before I ever even saw a future in this. It's insane how far I've come. I've done commissions for sets of Funkos for the Doom Patrol, COD Pros, a bunch of different ones. I've done book Funkos for characters for some of my favorite books. And I don't know, a lot of unique projects, and it's just really blown up into something amazing. And when I was just doing this Chloe, it was just simply because I love the character, and I wanted my own Chloe pop, and if they weren't going to sell them, I was just going to make one. But I think I've definitely come a long way. Even the texture on the hat or on the beanie's gotten better. You can kind of see a little bit of texture in there, but it doesn't really super mimic a cloth-like texture. I think this is better. I don't know, it's really hard to see. Yeah, there you go. There's weird glares going on right now, but it lets you see that kind of texture, that kind of like beanie waffle print texture. So yeah, I think it's come a long way. I do have another Funko comparison I'm doing from my Ninja Turtle Funkos. Like right before I did Chloe, the very first Funko I practiced on was a Ninja Turtle Pop. And I'm doing a new Ninja Turtle Pop now. And it's not a huge difference. There's not a lot of sculpting detail, but I definitely think the overall product is going to be cleaner. So yeah. I'll try to get some more tutorials out regarding tools and textures and stuff like that. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if there's certain questions you have, tutorials you'd like to see. Make sure to also check out the Etsy link below if you love my work and you want your own custom Funko here. I'm currently closed for commissions, but I do have some Funkos in my shop from various like books, shows, games. So those are currently available now, including this Chloe price here. I'm forever just going to keep my rough Chloe. I'm super proud of her. The Apocalypse Soldier, this is not based off of any character. This is an original, just funky custom idea of a soldier here on Earth during like an alien apocalypse, and he's been infected. So I call this the host. He's got tentacles coming out of his gas mask and out of his back. So I don't know, just a super cool idea, something fun. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to know when my next video goes live. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.